So as most of you guys probably know by now, this is the last day of the 2025 AFL trade period, and we have just been hearing so much news of things that we didn't kind of expect until now to, of course, happen. You know, I didn't make a video for yesterday, so that's kind of covering this day as well, kind of doing both of them combined. Of course, once this whole entire trade period and whatnot is done, I'll hopefully be making some more videos after it. Still, you know, reviewing some of the trades, talking about all the trades that, of course, happened, all of the above. But the news continues to, well, it keeps coming out more and more. We just saw that Leah has agreed to a 2-year deal to stay at GWS, being reported by Tom Morris. Again, such a random and weird situation for Leah in this trade period, where St Kilda, for those of you who haven't seen, actually backed out of the deal and decided not to pay him. Very similar to how my dad decided to not pay my mum child support. They didn't want to pay him. A bunch of other different reasons. We don't know why they fully pulled out of the trade, but, you know, some reports were they weren't as keen on him once they made the Jack Silvani decision and move and all of that type of stuff. Whatever it may be, it's over now, and Leah will be remaining a GWS Giant for a couple more years. Of course, he'll actually be coming out of contract at the end of 2027, which will be in time for Tasmania. So he might be able to join Tasmania if he wants. He comes out of contract in a free agency where a lot of interest is going to be thrown around to a bunch of different players. You know, he will also could be getting a lot of interest by then, you know, with a bunch of Victorian teams as well, and maybe even whoever else. So that is, of course, a really interesting one. Again, there was a bunch of trades which recently happened that I haven't talked about on the channel yet. Connor Budarick and pick 70 were recently traded to the Western Bulldogs in exchange for pick 37 per Riley Beveridge. We know when the Western Bulldogs did that trade with GWS a couple of days ago, that they were probably going to be throwing pick 37 to, you know, the Gold Coast Suns for Connor Budarick. Connor Budarick is an okay player. You know, he got a game for the Gold Coast Suns for the most part of the year, but he was thrown around basically every different position. I think he played a bit of footy as the sub as well. He's in an odd spot, but he obviously wants to play in a solidified backline and solidify his position, which he's going to be able to do, I believe, at the Western Bulldogs, and they definitely needed some backline help there. So he comes in, should be a good addition. We also just saw, I think, one of the steals of the trade period. Braden Fiorini from Gold Coast is officially a Bomber, according to Cal Toomey, with the Gold Coast Suns receiving a 2026, third-round pick. Good trade by the Bombers here. A little bit of an unfortunate one for Gold Coast to lose him, but they have so many academy players and midfielders coming through that one of them will, they'll get in and they'll probably just take his spot. But Fiorini, originally an inside mid, played a lot of VFL to get back in Gold Coast team this year. Then when he came back, he also played, I believe, a lot of wing. I'm not too sure what he's going to do at Essendon, what role that's going to be, but I'm guessing they really loved what they saw from him, on the wing, and that was why they really pursued him. So it could be that is where he, of course, maybe gets done. Again, a couple more trades. Tyler Young ended up getting traded to West Coast for pick 38. As a Richmond fan, I understand why the Tigers only got back pick 38. I was a little bit torn apart about it, though, because it's such a weak draft, and pick 38 will probably eventually become like pick 55 by the time the pick gets there with all the academy and father sons. And it is a little bit weird because Tyler Young, in the last 8 games or whatever that he played in the season, was the 7th highest rated key defender in the league and was dominating and was one of Richmond's really big bright spots. Again, he was definitely playing a lot better than a pick 38, aka a pick 55 or whatever in this year's draft. So I kind of wish Richmond got a little bit higher. But then if you're a West Coast fan, you're also going to argue that this guy only played like 8 games this year. 27-year-old player coming off an ACL. pick 38 in their eyes may have even been a bit generous. I think this fits in the middle of what I wanted as a Tigers fan and what the Eagles wanted as, West Coast fans. It probably fits right in that sweet spot. So overall, okay trade. I mean, definitely the winners here are the Eagles. They're getting in a guy who was playing like an elite key defender. So they've done extremely well there. And we also saw that Will Brodie was traded for pick 103. What? What? How did... I mean, pick 103 might as well draft me with that pick. I don't think it's getting used. I don't really know what the whole entire point of that one is and what the situation of that is even going to be. So that pick would probably just get passed. They probably just traded him because he was contracted or whatever. So not really a whole lot to talk about there. But we have been hearing a lot of, trade updates again. If it hasn't come out the time making this video, it will come out in a couple hours after it. Jamara will be getting traded to the Gold Coast Suns today, according to Tom Morris. It is happening. The trade is just being slightly modified here and there, but the deal will happen. We know the Dogs don't really care, and they're giving him up for next to nothing, or at least it is believed, that. So that is probably what's going to happen there. And I think this is a really good player to get in for Gold Coast, especially if they can get him right. And I mean, having that key forward depth of Ben King, Jai Farah, Jamara, Ethan Reed and Jed Walter. I mean, Jesus Christ, if I was a Gold Coast fan, that would make me want to squirt all garlic and all sauce out of my private parts onto my screen. So they've done very, very well there. We also saw that Will Hayward and Ollie Florent are now more open to being traded for Charlie Curnow. Will Hayward and Sydney have been talking all weekend, and Hayward is open to being part of the deal if required. He's currently on holidays in Brazil. Curnow's meeting with Sydney just happened as well. Tour the facilities, all of the above. I expect this to get, done today. Basically, Sydney as well offered their first round pick this year, Will Hayward and Florent, and a little bit more. So that should get done today. They're probably just slightly doing the nitpick parts of it, and yeah, it looks like it's definitely going to happen now. Really great for Charlie Curnow to get out of a position that he just doesn't want to be in anymore. I mean, Will Hayward and Florent, we'll see how they go in, at Carlton. As most of you guys know, I'm a pretty big Will Hayward fan. I think he's a very, very good player, and I mean, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I feel bad for him as well, because none of these guys wanted to leave Sydney. It's just what's happened. They've both been pushed out of the door to try and make this happen. So a little bit of an L for those guys, but it is what it is. We also saw as well that the Hawks have actually made an offer to Essendon, which I think is quite frankly really good. So I'd be surprised if this doesn't get done today. But Hawthorn will receive Zach Merritt and Essendon. They could be getting back pick number 9, a future first round pick, a second round pick in 2025 or 2026. I'm guessing they'll be working that out. And Henry Hustwaite, which I think is a very, very good deal for a guy who is heading into his 30s, or maybe, is Zach Merritt 30? I don't think he is, but he's probably very, very close. And I mean, Henry Hustwaite's going to be a good player. Pick 9's a good pick. A future first will be good. And a second. I mean, what Essendon waiting for? I would definitely take that. I think that's something that can really help kickstart this rebuild as well. So I'd be very surprised if they didn't pull the trigger on that. We also recently did see that Levi Ashcroft is poised to sign a 4-year extension, which will take him through to the end of 2030. So no going into, free agency or whatever when Tasman... Jesus Christ. It's like choked on a freaking breadcrumb that I had eaten like a couple hours ago. I don't know how I did that. It just came back up and I choked on it. This takes him out of Tasmania contention, so Levi Ashcroft will not be in that little area to maybe sign there. Richmond defender Ben Millen. One job. Richmond defender Ben Miller has signed a 1-year extension. He was due to come out of contract at the end of 2026 when he would have been a free agent, but has signed on until the end of 2027 after his best season. I mean, yeah, statistically, ratings, everything you look at, Ben Miller was a top 5 key defender this year. He was incredible. He was a part of a really good Richmond backline that was able to help Richmond win in 5 games and help Richmond defy odds of some people predicting they weren't even going to win one. Ben Miller, I think, could have got a massive extension with Richmond, but he's doing this so he'll be out of contract at the end of 2027. He'll go in looking at Tasmania as an option. He'll go in. West Coast will be an option. They might be a better option by then. Fremantle as well. Whatever other teams look to offer him deals. If he has another great year or two, which I believe he'll have, continues that top 5 key defender run, I mean, he's going to get insane offers by all these teams. So that's pretty massive. And I guess we're also hearing that Port have a plan for Nasiah. We would all love to bring A-grade talent. Nasiah is a South Australian. We want to bring in homegrown talent, and we think we'll be well prepared for when he's ready to make a decision next time. Jason Cripps on the club will be better prepared for Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller in 2 years. I mean, yeah, Port are probably going to have a couple years where they're just pretty slumming it out. They'll be ready to go again for Naz. I think St Kilda better watch out here. But yeah, I think if they make the 8 this year, which I think they should, and continue to steamroll along, they're going to be a pretty big threat to potentially sign Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller going forward. But yeah, that was this trade period, video. Hopefully more will be coming soon. We'll have to wait and see. There's still so much news and information coming out. Hopefully maybe a video discussing what's going to happen throughout the rest of today and continuously keeping it going. We'll have to see. Make sure to leave a like on this video, guys, to let me know you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for all latest AFL content and AFL news. Go check out my gaming/movie channel and my Instagram if you haven't already, which will all be getting linked down below. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.